Stop, listen closely, because what I'm about to say is for you. God has already placed the one He created for you in your path, and the signs of that connection are already unfolding, whether you've noticed them or not. You may think it's coincidence, you may think it's confusion, but it's not. These are divine introductions, and in this message, I'll show you 4 ways God reveals your soulmate without you even realizing it. If you've ever asked, "Lord, how will I know?" then stay with me, because by the end of this word, you'll see what's been in front of you all along. Before we go deeper, I want you to take this as your confirmation. Subscribe now and follow this channel, because every word you receive here is designed to align you with God's timing for your relationships. And at the end of this message, I'll ask you to comment one prophetic word that will seal your faith and your expectation. The first sign God introduces your soulmate is through a stirring in your spirit that feels unexplainable. You don't chase it, you don't plan it, but something about this person keeps pulling at your heart like a quiet current. You may even resist it at first, but God has a way of drawing your attention to them over and over until you can't ignore it. The surprising part is this: your soulmate might not even look like the type you thought you wanted. God does this intentionally. He bypasses your preferences so He can highlight His perfect choice. Remember Samuel? He looked at Jesse's sons and thought the eldest was the chosen one, but God said, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." That's exactly what's happening with you. God interrupts your patterns to introduce His plan. The second way God introduces your soulmate is through divine timing disguised as inconvenience. You may cross paths at what feels like the wrong season. Maybe you're busy, distracted, or still healing, but somehow you keep meeting again. Different settings, different moments, and each time it feels like God is saying, "See, I'm not letting you miss this." This is where many people get confused, thinking it's just chance. But what you call coincidence, heaven calls confirmation. Some of you watching this right now have already met the person God designed for you, but because the timing felt off, you brushed it aside. Don't. Pay attention, because God often introduces your future in the middle of your chaos. There's a reason this keeps happening. God is making sure you don't miss His plan by wrapping it inside the ordinary. You may bump into them in passing. A friend may mention their name. You may even dream of them before you understand who they are. That's because heaven always reveals purpose before clarity. That tension you feel, that wondering if you should pay closer attention, is not just emotion. It's the Spirit confirming what your heart already knows. But here's the part most people never realize. Sometimes God will allow space, even silence, so that when the connection returns, you'll recognize it as Him. This is where I want you to pause and ask yourself, who has God been highlighting in your spirit? Whose name, whose presence, whose unexpected return in your life has stirred something deeper than chance? Think about that, because in the next part of this message, I'll show you 2 more ways God introduces your soulmate, and the final one will surprise you. Before we continue, I want you to declare your faith right now in the comments. Write the word "confirm" if you believe God is speaking to you through this message. That simple word is not just engagement, it's a prophetic act that aligns your heart with what God is revealing. And if you want to go deeper into how God works in divine relationships, I invite you to watch the video I shared last week about the signs God is preparing your spouse. You'll find it in the description and pinned comment, and it will connect with what you're hearing now. This is only the beginning, because the third way God introduces your soulmate doesn't happen in your heart or through chance encounters. It happens through conflict, a shaking that exposes truth. And when I explain this, you'll see why God never wastes your pain when it comes to love. The third way God introduces your soulmate comes through conflict and refining. This might sound strange, but often the person God has chosen for you doesn't just make you feel good, they challenge you to grow. Sometimes God allows friction early on to expose the parts of you that still need healing, patience, or surrender. Think about it. Iron sharpens iron.
Real love doesn't always begin with smooth perfection. It begins with moments that force you to see yourself more clearly. That argument you had, that misunderstanding that unsettled you, it wasn't meant to push you apart. It was meant to reveal what God is still shaping in you and in them. Your soulmate won't just fit your comfort, they'll fit your calling. And sometimes that requires pruning before fruit can grow.
The final way God introduces your soulmate is through alignment that cannot be denied. When the time is right, things begin to flow with a peace that goes beyond understanding. Suddenly, the doors that were shut before open with ease. The distractions that once confused you lose their grip. And without forcing it, you find yourselves moving in the same direction with the same vision and the same heart for God. This is when you'll know it's not just love, it's divine purpose. The connection isn't built only on attraction, it's anchored in mission. You'll find that what used to feel like longing now feels like arrival. What used to be guessing now feels like knowing. And here's the twist most people miss. God often allows you to experience counterfeits first. People who look close but aren't truly called to your destiny. This is why the journey has been so heavy, why your heart has been tested. Because if you hadn't gone through what you did, you wouldn't recognize the difference between temporary attention and eternal covenant. Now, when God brings the real one, your spirit will recognize them. That stirring in your heart won't stop. That peace in your soul won't leave. And the signs won't fade until the promise is fulfilled. So if you're watching this right now, hear me clearly. God has not forgotten you. The waiting has not been in vain. The one He designed for you has already been set apart. And every sign, every stirring, every alignment you're noticing is heaven's way of guiding you into what He ordained long before you asked. Don't lose hope. Don't settle. Because the same God who put Adam into a deep sleep before presenting Eve is the same God orchestrating your introduction in His perfect timing. I want you to act in faith right now. Go to the comments and type the word align. That word will be your prophetic declaration today. You're not just typing letters, you're declaring that your heart, your timing, and your future are aligning with God's will. And as you do, I want you to step into expectation, because the signs won't stop until you are together. If this message has spoken to you, don't just stop here. In the description and pinned comment, you'll find a playlist I've prepared for you. A journey through God's confirmations, relationship breakthroughs, and spiritual alignments. Watch it, let it build your faith, and let it prepare you for what God is bringing. Because your story is not over, it's just